How you doing, guys? Welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 21st of April 2021. I'm going to do a quick technical rundown on CHSB. Before I continue, obviously these are just my thoughts and opinions. Don't listen to anything that I say. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Do your own research and make sure you follow your plan. Alright, sorry. I'm in a really funny mood today. But it's good advice, so listen to it. CHSB, obviously, we've had a nice run now since we have put in this list, this low. We've been bouncing around here now for a while, and obviously people were expecting or waiting, for something to be announced. And we had some really, really good news during this power. Obviously, increased yield on CHSB, along with UTrust and the UTrust partnership and so on, and then potentially, well, not potentially, but Chile's coming soon, and some of the other things that they're going to be, announcing, working on, and everything. And I think the power was very, very well put together. I think it was nice for people to be able to connect with Cyrus again, in a way that makes sense. And I'm not talking about myself, because I understand through experience these things take time, but some people who are beginners, who aren't that experienced in any type of investing, regardless of whether it's crypto or anything else, become so invested in these power hours that unfortunately they just want him to say something now. And I think the way he presented himself in that power hour was phenomenal, because I think it's given people that just everybody chill, here's a dose of confidence, just relax, we know what we're doing, and just go with the flow type of thing. So kudos to Cyrus, for putting that together. Yeah, and what else? BTC I'm going to do separately. I'll do that in a separate video, as I made a mention in the last video. So let's just get to CHSB. The general consensus in the room that we're in, and if you want to know which room it is, there's a link below, Discord. You'll find us all in the Wealth and Trading channel. And we do have a weekly Smart Talk, which is tomorrow, Thursday, every Thursday at 6:30 GMT time, where I co-host with Ben. He talks about some great topics, and I go through some analysis. So if you can make it, please do. But the general consensus, throughout the chat with, pretty much all the experienced people in there, we've got some great characters in there, people who really know what they're talking about, and because they're more experienced, we were looking at these drops into this area as, just normal. It's healthy, and expecting price to, find some support down here, and eventually, once it's done whatever it needs to do, start to grind higher, and that's indeed what we're seeing. And you'll notice the last drop here that took out these two lows, okay, and effectively took out all the remaining liquidity over here. The response from that was quick and fast, yeah, and the subsequent move lower was also quick and fast. So this was quite erratic, this behavior here. This is much more controlled. You'll see that now that we've found, and I'll go down to the 4 hour and show you this, but now that we've found what I believe to be, a low support, whatever you want to call it, we're getting this nice controlled price behavior on the way back up now, and we have this big liquidity pool here, 128 end of the month, quote me. I may get egg on my face, but I don't think I will. Yeah, I am very confident that price is going to go to 128. Obviously much higher at some point, but 128 is on the cards for the end of the month, and I believe in my analysis and my confidence in that. And we'll go to the lower time frame. I'll show you what I think is going to happen. But it's nice and controlled, this nice run up now. It's not erratic like this. It's controlled. It's steady. There's accumulation of buy and sell on the way up. It's dealing off of liquidity on the way up. And then obviously it's going to run into this liquidity pool, very soon, in my opinion. But you'll see, when we look at the 4 hour chart like this, and I made a reference to this saying I don't want to see price past this point. You can see the accumulation off this point. It drops, takes out that final low down here, puts in what I believe to be that final low, and then we start to grind higher. We have this liquidity pool here that it moved away from very quickly, ran back into very quickly, literally in one candle, filled in the gap, accumulation, drops again to accumulate while taking out this low and accumulate into this secondary within the primary, and then it starts to grind, drop, accumulation, drop, accumulation, drop, accumulation, and then we're steadying just here. And I'll go down to the hourly chart and I'll show you something, but basically as we're looking at this now, you can almost get the sense, yeah, even if you don't know much about technical analysis or fundamental analysis, you can get the sense that it looks like it's just going to bang, Yeah. And there is a lot of liquidity up here, guys. And we may very well pop into this and then drop quite quickly and rapidly. But the fact that we've stabilized now in this area down here, we've moved away from this now in a nice orderly fashion, efficiently, and then we're stabilizing up here as well. Is coiling and getting ready to just pop. Yeah. And then when that happens, the key level, as we've mentioned many times, is above 125, between 125 and 140. But 125 to 130, this is the key level. This is the area that is very, very important. Price, needs to get back to this level and stabilize there. Not because if it doesn't, I believe it's going lower. But if it doesn't, it means we're going to get more of this for longer. And this is something that we all want to avoid. We can't change it, but we want to avoid it. So it would be nice to see price do what I believe very strongly it's going to do, and just do it a lot sooner. Yeah. So we'll drop down to the hourly, and I'll just show you. You can see the accumulation on the buy side, and there's that big pop, very quick reversal. But accumulate, drops again. Take out anybody that's just gone long here, and just go with me. I know some of you, because you've already made a mention of this in some emails. And one person did mention, he's like, some of the stuff you say doesn't make sense. It does make sense to me, but obviously you need to have a bit of a, not a bit of, but you need to have a very good understanding of the way price is delivered, when you look at it. Yeah. So when you understand that, what I say makes a lot more sense. But it makes sense anyway from a supply and demand point of view. Just look at it from a supply and demand point of view, from a basic starting point, and you'll get a feel for what I'm talking about. And obviously there's a myriad of different videos out there, and information online about supply and demand. So you can always just read. I would say read. If you want to look into supply and demand, the basic fundamentals of the methodology, read. Something that's typed. Don't watch videos, because most of it's a load of crap, right? And people are just trying to sell you something. So you can see the accumulation. Accumulation comes up, drops again. Accumulation comes up, drops again. Accumulation comes up, it's dropping again. Accumulation, and I'm looking for that last final pop, and this is nice, efficiently traded price. It's clean, it's calm, it's accumulating, dealing off, accumulating, dealing off, and obviously down here is what's in control of this move here, okay, because it's within the first pickup of the primary liquidity pool down here. So this is the key area right here. If this at any point gets traded through, okay, then that's not going to be very good for Swissborg, and I'm just going to make it black. That's not going to be very good for Swissborg, but the likelihood now of that happening is very, very low. And if you go back to the daily, as I've mentioned many times, there's no liquidity left here now. So if it does drop, and drop aggressively and quickly, because it's because it's seeking, price is seeking for liquidity, then it's all the way down here and down here. And in between these, we said around about 45 cents is the mean or the average. And let's be frank, what's the likelihood of price coming all the way down here? Practically non-existent with the fundamentals of this company and the way things are going. So, now we're ready, I think. Yeah. So that's the analysis. Obviously, I'll be discussing Swissborg tomorrow during the Smart Talk. Please make sure you're there, because I've got some really cool topics, that are going to be very, very welcomed, I believe, within the community, because I try to discuss topics that are relevant to the information that I see, and the communications and some of the chats, and I try to kind of piece all of that together and just get a general consensus of what people are thinking, and then focus on topics that kind of fit the need of the community. Yeah, so if you can make it, please do. You'll find it very interesting. I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. I hope everybody's well. I hope everybody's having an awesome day, awesome week, and I will catch up with you guys in the chat and tomorrow in the Smart Talk. Take care.